The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.
Welcome, everybody. My name is David Busch, and for the next 30 minutes, I get the extraordinary honor to be able to guide you through a 30-minute presentation on the full offering of OPTAVIA. OPTAVIA has lots of different capacities and how people come and are able to create optimal health and well-being in their life. But what we're going to talk about today is the full trilogy: healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. And we're going to feature a sector of our population of clients and coaches who are coming from the professional mental health field. And they're going to get a chance to talk a little bit more about why they see OPTAVIA being a strategy to create a very healthy mind, a very healthy body, and a very healthy financial opportunity that is coming through the OPTAVIA coach opportunity. My name is David Busch. As you guys may have already known, I lost 100 pounds 10 years ago. I'm not a mental health professional. I worked as a business coach. And this program rocked my world. And I had no idea that I was going to be helping people to get healthier 10 years later. But what it did for me was it was able to give me a system to create optimal health and well-being in my life. And the coach opportunity was simply just a vehicle for me to be able to create a healthy community around me, to create accountability, and to be able to serve other people and to give them the gift that I was given. So maybe you're on this webinar right now and you're not sure that health coaching is for you, and you're not really sure if you're ready for that. It's okay. I was in the same boat. Just 10 years ago, I was just still struggling through my own personal health journey, but finding victory each and every month. And what that was coming from was this amazing vehicle called OPTAVIA. You see, this company has had a long, rich medical heritage. Our company has actually been listed as one of the most trustworthy companies in the country by Forbes magazine in both 2016 and 2017. This amazing company has got a rich medical heritage and so many clinical studies that prove the efficacy of the program. What this program offers is the opportunity to create optimal health and well-being in your life. Our bold tagline is lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. Our OPTAVIA coaching system helps people to create more optimal days. You can see it in our logo. There's 24 different radiants that are in the circle and just above the word OPTAVIA, which stands for the optimal way of living. And what we're trying to do in OPTAVIA is to coach people to adopt healthy habits, to create lifelong transformation. We're not a diet, we're not a detox, we're not an exercise program. We're an optimal health coaching program that teaches people simple principles and habits that they can use inside of a comprehensive physician-led system to reverse the trends, to change their stars, so to speak, and to create the life that they've always desired. Many of us struggle. I don't know about where you came from, but when I came from is a very unhealthy family. Maybe obesity and overweight isn't inside your family genes, but a lot of Americans are struggling. We have almost 71% of Americans that are struggling with overweight and obesity. And now we're starting to pass that on to the next generation. And what our system does is it not only helps people to lose weight, but it helps people to create a system for creating well-being in their life. We use this 4-component system to give people the tools that they need and the support that is so desperately required to make behavioral changes. And we make it a very simple system so people can actually do it at the speed of life. They don't have to slow down too much to get to the point where they want to be and get to their goals very quickly. These 4 components we'll go through very quickly. The first one is the OPTAVIA coach. OPTAVIA coaches are not medical experts. They're not oftentimes health professionals, although we do attract a lot of licensed health professionals to become OPTAVIA coaches. Most of our OPTAVIA coaches are not health professionals. They're people just like me that decided to get healthier by helping other people to get healthier and who had a passion to help other people and who wanted to learn more. We use a mentorship model of training and support, and we have an online certification program with the Villanova University College of Nursing and their Center of Obesity Prevention and Education. That online training program and mentoring program is what has been able to help us to equip thousands of people to become certified coaches, to provide one-on-one support to their friends and family members and loved ones and coworkers to help them to adopt the habits of health. Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson is the medical director and co-founder of OPTAVIA, and he left traditional medicine to move medicine into the third era of medicine, which is the area of prevention. Right now, medicine is quite reactive. They're reacting to disease and reacting to problems. And Dr. Anderson had a new model of thinking. He knew that we couldn't end up catching people as they came over the waterfall, so he wrote a system, a program that actually taught people how to adopt healthy lifestyle habits, and he created a health coach training program that allowed people who were getting healthier to actually encourage and guide people on the exact same steps that they were learning at the exact same time. And he created this bio network of support to make it really simple for people to plug people into the system and to guide them on this journey. And what I want to do is I want to just take a moment and share with you one of the amazing stories that we have from some of the health professionals that have actually joined up with us. Dr. Michael Collins has actually got two specialties, and he's got a tremendous amount of time inside of the medical model. But he's going to tell you a little bit more about his passion for the health coaching model. And Dr. Collins, I'd love for you to take yourself off of mute and join us on today's webinar.
I'm here, David. Thank you. So I am a cardiologist and a psychiatrist and an OPTAVIA coach. I just want to tell you a little bit about my story, how I got to be an OPTAVIA coach. I'm very, very excited to be here. I had some similar experiences to Dr. Anderson. During my greater than a decade as a cardiologist, I became aware that a large percentage of my patients that I was taking care of were having sickness, were dying prematurely for potentially treatable conditions that should have been preventable. And this was a result of unhealthy behaviors, unhealthy lifestyles, and behavior is driven by emotions. And I was interested since medical school in sort of the behavioral aspects of healthcare and that mind-body connection. And I was also, as a busy cardiologist, spending less and less time with my patients. I was spending more time in the heart catheterization laboratory, more time in the emergency room, more time in the intensive care unit. And also noticed that a lot of my heart patients were also having problems psychiatrically with anxiety, depression, psychological issues. And because of multiple reasons, I decided to leave private practice. I returned to the university, did a residency in psychiatry, and then did 2 fellowships, one in mind-body medicine or psychosomatic medicine, and the other in addiction medicine. And I returned then to private practice. That was 5 years later. But I joined a large group of cardiologists and cardiovascular surgeons and was their behavioral cardiologist. And my focus was on prevention. And that's really what has driven me. And I loved what I did. It was very rewarding. But, as a lot of people who are in the health field know, that medicine and a lot of the health-related professions can be very, very demanding. I was working all the time, had very little time to myself, a lot of stress, and my health suffered. And so over the years, as I got older, it started to take a toll. I gained weight. I gained a lot of weight. And so it was like, okay, I'm a cardiologist, I know how to eat. I can take care of this. I can lose the weight. Well, I knew how to eat healthy, but I didn't know how to lose weight healthy. And so I tried everything under the sun, and I didn't enjoy any of them, but well, I can do it. But I just gained the weight back. And so I struggled. I struggled for years up until I met my OPTAVIA health coaches, Lana and Lee Badashev. And then my life changed. I mean, it really transformed. So Lana listened to my complaints, my stories, my struggles, And, and then she said, well, what do you want? And I told her, and she said, no problem. That's easy. We can have you lose the weight. And, for me, it was like she brought me a ray of sunshine. It was such a sense of relief after years of struggling. I didn't think it was possible, but I could see the confidence that she had and that it was really true. And she was right. I lost the weight and I kept it off. And, what a miracle. I mean, it was really transformative for me. I got my life back. I was able to do so many more things that I had sort of put to the side. And, as a result, I took a hard look at the OPTAVIA program. I became, what you call a fully integrated client. So I read everything I could. I did everything in the workbook and, looked at where did this come from. And, with all that, I saw, wow, this is really something that works. It's been scientifically validated, medically validated, and this is something I can confidently, recommend to my patients. And I did. And Lana and Lee invited me to become a health coach on their team. And that has been just such a wonderful experience that to join a community of like-minded people who are passionate about what they do has just been one of the most rewarding experiences in my life. And the joy of not just seeing my patients transform themselves, but to be involved in seeing our team and them and their clients and how they've transformed themselves. It's just been a marvelous experience. Opened up, new avenues in my life. And, as an OPTAVIA coach, as I move into retirement, this is something I can take with me. I can continue to help people. I can continue to grow, develop, have the support of a community. And, I've got some things that I've never had before: independence, freedom, flexibility. I can work anywhere in the world, and set my own hours and time, time that I haven't had to spend with family, with my grandkids, time to do so many things that I feel like, well, I just don't have the time to do that. I can't leave for that long. And so thank you. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. David, thank you for having me on. And I especially want to thank, Lana and Lee Badashev for their friendship, their mentoring, and their support. They have been great.
Great. Well, we're so glad that you were able to join us tonight. And it's such a powerful thing to know that a guy like me, not highly educated, wasn't the best student in high school, and I get a chance to partner with a guy like Dr. Collins, and we're arm in arm out there helping America to get healthy. And I know that many of the health professionals just enjoy this vast OPTAVIA community and the virtual and local community events and the support calls like we're doing here tonight, and the weekly Habits of Health video calls and the nutrition support team. We've got all the resources to create a virtual clinic and a virtual model of health. And we can end up empowering people to take back control of their health. And we use something as simple as nutrition, food. We don't take credit cards for co-payments, billing, or other types of fees or third-party payments that have to be made. This is all based upon just having a patient or a client redirect where they are purchasing some of their groceries and where they are spending their money on food. And actually what they get for that is this comprehensive health and lifestyle coaching program. And what we teach individuals, and this is something you can reach out to the person that invited you to this particular video, they can give you more details on a program that may be specific to you and show the vast different meal plans. But our model of eating is based upon a low glycemic meal plan that teaches people to eat balanced meals with protein, carbohydrates, and using portion-controlled grab-and-go fuelings every 2 to 3 hours. And we're using it inside of a comprehensive meal plan that brings in healthy natural foods and be able to provide them with a program that they can use at the speed of life. Using this scientifically proven nutritional profile program, we actually are able to provide the right nutrition at every stage of their journey, from weight loss to transition or equilibration, where they're graduating their calories up to the point of how many calories they're burning, to the point of optimization and giving individuals optimal health and well-being. And there's so many different stories we can tell, but this next one's going to just, I think, bring a little bit of a smile to your face, because what Jody's done in her family and what she's been able to do with her background in social work and now translating it into optimal health and lifestyle coaching, I think will bring a smile to your face. Jody, welcome to the webinar.
Good evening, Dave, and good evening, everyone that's on. Thank you so much for having me, David. I so appreciate it. I'm truly honored and humbled to be invited to the call this evening. I never imagined 7 years ago when I was introduced to OPTAVIA that I'd be sharing my story on a national webinar like this. So let me give you a little picture of where I was before OPTAVIA. A wife and mother of 3, social worker by profession, who chose to be a full-time stay-at-home mom following the birth of my first child. I pursued social work because I had a passion to help people. But the birth of my first child reminded me that I had another dream, and that was to be a mom and raise a family. It was my goal to work part-time and have the best of both worlds. But when my employer didn't comply, we decided I'd stay at home. Children 2 and 3 arrived, which solidified my new career choice and gave me the ability to use my skill set to raise a family and fully participate in my kids' lives. My need for impact was satisfied by being a strong volunteer leader in the school. But as we all know, while living life, life happens. So along with the good stuff we live daily, life got harder. In addition to all the regular pressures of raising a family in New York, we had a lot of not such great stuff happening. 4 years, actually, of health decline and loss of beloved family, the decline and loss of my husband's family-owned business and our nest egg. Expenses and debt both grew. I returned to work in order to help support us. And I was working for about a year when I was introduced to OPTAVIA. It was still a crazy, crazy time because the huge amount of stress really took its toll on us. At the same time, my husband went for his first colonoscopy, which revealed colon cancer. Talk about stress. I'm happy to let you know that, thank God, he's healthy. So I went for my physical. It was time to take care of me a little bit because, as we know, as moms, we don't always get to take care of ourselves so well. So it was blood work from my annual physical that kind of gave me my wake-up call, because I, who had run the healthy house, whole wheat bread family, healthy snacks, diluted apple juice, I was always into health and wellness. I got the diagnosis of having elevated blood sugar. It really stunned me. And I guess it was my reality check that I had lost track of myself. We were stressed. We had enough. It was clearly time to do something. So it was during that time that I watched my sister-in-law do a program where her results were amazing. She lost weight. She started helping people. And she really started to transform before our eyes. It was our turn to get on board. We knew we needed to do something. And with her passion and her love, it had to be this program. So my husband got started. My brother got started. As a health professional, mental health professional at my core, I first had to do my own thing. Guilty, skepticism. Didn't work so well. Not surprising, right? So I decided to put my pride aside and join them. And within a few days, I didn't look back. I lost more weight than I intended. I learned what feeling really good felt like. I had pep in my step, and everybody around me noticed. I had clarity of mind that I hadn't had in years. I was able to see past the day that I was in. My self-confidence grew, and more than that, I began to dream again. Life started to look brighter. And with Miriam Khan's encouragement, my sister-in-law, my friend, my mentor, for whom we will be eternally grateful, she began and encouraged me to start coaching. I fell in love. I just fell in love with it and began to dream again. The more I coached, the more I began to dream. I dreamt of a bigger life now for my family and I. My passion for helping people and making an impact was again reunited. And in a short amount of time, I'm really blessed to say, the income from my health coaching business matched the part-time income I was earning at the job that I really wasn't loving. So I left. I poured my energies into my OPTAVIA business. I started attending events which further fueled my fire. My world and my life were expanding, and health and positive outlook was returning. So I have to say, physical transformation was awesome, but it's the coaching that's taken everything, my health, my life, our happiness to the next level. It has been such a tremendous gift. And to think, actually, my biggest one is the myth busting. I never felt as a social worker that I could do well by doing good. I kind of felt like I made that decision to swap it out. And now I could do well and do good. And I have freedom to live a life around what matters most to me, which is so incredible freeing since I care for a homebound aging mom with medical needs. I now have children who live out of state and out of the country. I'm able to travel as I'd like to be with the most important people in my life, not worrying about taking time off or losing a job because I need to be with a loved one. OPTAVIA has truly, truly unleashed my passion to grow, inspire, and empower others. And not only that, but be inspired and empowered myself. I get to learn from everybody that I work with. I just love the team that I'm building. I'm able to live a life centered around what's most important to me and craft my hours around my family schedule. I get paid for looking good and even more so for becoming my best self. As a matter of fact, I am probably now in the best shape of my entire life. And it's truly, truly the best health insurance. The cool thing is also that the more I grow and help myself, the more I'm able to impact my clients, the coaches I now work with, and the coaches that they work with. And life has just become so big and full. So I'm so proud to be part of this mission and part of this company that's changing the health and life of America and becoming my best self and helping others do the same. Thank you.
Wow, Jody, that is awesome. Thanks so much for joining us and sharing your powerful story. I mean, that's the kind of stories that just continue on with all the different coaches that we have all across the country and soon to be expanding around the world with our expansion into Hong Kong and Singapore. And what Jody was just talking about was this Trilogy model that we are really helping people to not just get healthy physically, but to get healthy mentally and financially with the vehicle of OPTAVIA coaching. The benefits of becoming an OPTAVIA coach are long listing. These are just a few of the ones that are the most popular reasons of why people decide to become a coach. And you might be thinking, well, I'm not a cardiologist and I'm not a mental health professional, and it's okay. Neither am I, and neither are most of our coaches. These are just some of the stories of people that have actually decided to leave their medical profession to choose a field in the area of health and lifestyle coaching. And Jeanette's not just another story. She's got an amazing story, and her story blossoms right from Jody's. Jeanette, welcome to the webinar.
Thank you so much. I am really honored to be here tonight. As Jody said, I am here with full and gratitude for her. She really was my coach and mentor all this time. I came to OPTAVIA after about a year of being very skeptical, inquiring and watching other people around me lose weight and shrink right before my eyes. I was really in search because of my own health. And what pushed me really over the edge to make this decision and come to OPTAVIA after lots of failed attempts at finding a place and a way to lose this weight and get rid of the high blood pressure I was having was watching my family and really seeing a family member struggle with coming close to losing his life due to morbid obesity. That really was what turned the tide for me. And I knew I had to move past my family culture and take control of my own health. I started program in March of 2014, and I did lose those 40 pounds. In the first 2 weeks, I was down a good chunk of weight, and I was super excited. I could not believe the results I was getting. I know they're not typical, but it was really so cool and lit me up that I started reading. I'm like, there's really something to this system. So I pulled out this book of Dr. A's, Discover Your Optimal Health, and sat one weekend, read it cover to cover, and I could not stop jumping out of my chair. It just excited me so much because I saw in front of me what were possibilities of how I could move forward in my life and continue to help others using this program. So right there, from week 2, I was asking my coach, how do I become a coach? When can I start coaching? And that's the beauty of this program. You only have to be one step ahead of your clients, and your coach is feeding you one step at a time how to grow and change and learn to help others in a way that I hadn't previously done. Still using the old skill set, but adding something new as we went along. I was helping my family and my friends, and of course, this transition and transformation for me was not lost on my patients. Some of them wanted to do program as well. I'd been a social worker my entire adult life, in private practice, home-based, tied to a brick and mortar office, and felt kind of like at times the walls were closing in on me. I knew I had to do something. If I stayed in this chair my whole life, I would be crippled before the end, and I didn't want that to happen. So I knew there had to be something else. Knowing that social work is a very broad practice, you can do a lot of things with this degree. I can do anything from concrete services all the way up through psychoanalytic services. And through that, I felt like this was just the perfect dovetail for me. If I took this program, this entire system of how to bring health to people, I could take people from the point where they're dysfunctional to more functional, to finding more clarity, to feeling more empowered. I personally did not have to sit in a chair all day. I could work from anywhere, as we've heard before. People would ask me, isn't being a coach the same thing as being a therapist? And I was like, unequivocally, no, that is just not true. As a therapist, you're really sitting with someone who's dysfunctional, really in crisis a lot of times. I mean, most people don't come to therapy because they're having a great time. They're there because they have certain needs. So as people grow and develop, you can now offer them something more. You have other skills that you've developed both as a coach and as your own personal growth. You can now give them something else. The best vehicle I have seen so far has been this program. It is truly the best wellness self-management program I have seen. And I've been around a lot of years, so I'm very happy to have this now. In therapy, we use a lot of different techniques, cognitive behavioral and other sorts of things. Those things are incorporated in this program. You develop long-term strategies, you create new habits, and it leads to a lasting change, long-term physical and emotional health. I've been successful treating a variety of patients through their dysfunction to more functional. And as a coach, you partner with your clients from functional to masterful, from disorders to limiting beliefs and to clarity. For me personally, it allows me to bring more of myself into the work. It gives me an awful lot of freedom. And when people are ready for it, it's a really terrific tool to have in your pocket. As far as the business end of this goes, the logistics with patients are simple. Coaching time is designated as a separate time, additional time in the session or outside the session as any other client would have on the phone or in Zoom. Coaching for OPTAVIA is free, so no money changes hands. OPTAVIA pays us, our coaches, for our work. No money changes hands. What we receive from coaching is much more than I anticipated. I had no idea that this was going to be more than, some pocket money. It's really been a terrific addition. And there are bonuses and rewards for work well done, for consistency. It's pretty amazing that there's something there that can really support you. There are no third-party payments, no medical reviews or administrative denials of payment. You just do your work. You don't worry. You take care of your client. You work and partner with them, and you see really amazing growth and results. There's just no nonsense at all. You're treated like a professional. It's really been a great, great tool for me. The additional income stream has brought me so many choices to take time for myself, like you've heard so many others say already today. opportunities to take vacations, to travel, to be with my children, to be available for emergencies and not have to worry about taking time off, and without fear of missing my hours and whether or not I'm actually in the office, because I can work from anywhere. Additionally, I have a tremendous amount of support. Everyone does in this company. It's unsurpassed for the amount of support it provides. All clients are encouraged to engage in the community, as well as the coaches, because we were all clients. We always say you're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with most. We try to hang out, whether it's in Zoom, whether it's on phone calls, whether it's our large national meetings like this one, or the smaller ones that we have with our own local teams. There's something for everyone at a time or a topic that's convenient. It's there. The majority of people really, really enjoy it. In OPTAVIA, no one goes it alone. We're always better together. So for coaches, we also have trainings. We support each other. We have so much personal development to assist us in helping others. Working alongside other coaches reduces the feeling of isolation, which you get in a big way when you go to be a solo practitioner. It has provided me with the confidence to leave my business in the care of others when I can't be there. The coaching community, my coach in particular, has supported me during some of the worst times of my life, and really been there to make sure that I stayed afloat, my business stayed afloat, and we really worked very closely together to make sure that it was a really successful time, even though it was rough for me. This is an absolute no-brainer. If you're a mental health practitioner, all of us can use another tool in our pocket. We can help our patients, our friends, and our family, and ourselves all at the same time. Thank you so much for inviting me tonight. I'm really happy to be here, and I hope that this has given people some information to go forward.
So good, so good. I mean, this is what we really wanted to share tonight, is to show you how health professionals in the mental health field are using this as an additional tool, and they're using it in the way that OPTAVIA was designed to be able to allow health professionals and non-health professionals to utilize this great business model. And I want to wrap up tonight with one final story. Emily Flores is a marriage family therapist, or 6 years ago she was marriage family therapist, and now she's doing OPTAVIA, and she's full-time mom and full-time agent of transformation. And I can't wait for you to hear Emily's story as we wrap up tonight. Emily, welcome to the webinar.
Hey, David, thank you so much for having me on. I'm super excited to share. So as he just said, my name is Emily Flores. I live out in Los Angeles, California. And, you know, after I had my first son 6 years ago, I was struggling. So like, aside from the normal first-time mom struggles, I was battling mentally and physically. You know, like on one hand, I felt super powerful. I'd just given birth and felt like superwoman. But at the same time, you know, I didn't really recognize the person that I saw in the mirror. And that was really hard for me. I grew up an athlete and a dancer. And so all I was told is exercise more and eat less. And that wasn't going to work for me anymore as a mom, and I was nursing, and you just can't do that. So I was essentially hungry all the time and exhausted. And thankfully I found our amazing Nursing Mothers program and was able to get to a place, gosh, I hadn't seen in probably almost 20 years. I went from a size 16 to a 4, which is nuts. And I think even more exciting is just the energy and the mental clarity that I suddenly had. I felt like I woke up, and all while maintaining my milk supply, which to me was like of the utmost importance. So, you know, as my maternity leave was ticking and ticking by, I started to panic. I was a practicing marriage and family therapist. I had worked in mental health for over a decade at that point. And although I loved my career as a therapist, the thought of going back after having my son seemed like just an impossible decision that I was being forced to make, and I didn't want to. Unlike the people that shared before me, I didn't really have like a quiet, nice little private practice. I worked in the nonprofit sector with severely mentally ill young adults out in the community. So I was, you know, in home, on the street, like wherever they were, I went to them. And LA County's big, so I had to drive everywhere. And it was a lot, and it was okay. before I had kids, but once I had kids, my priorities just really changed. I didn't want my clients to have 24 access to me. They had access to me 24 hours, guys. Like they could call me at 3 a.m. and say, you know, I'm having a breakdown and I need to be hospitalized. And it was my responsibility to go do that, which again, it's all fun and games till you have kids. And then you're like, I am not leaving my own baby to go save someone else. And that thought just kept me up at night. And so, I mean, obviously the program had worked for me, right? And I really fell in love with what OPTAVIA had to offer everyone. You know, I quickly realized this was more than a weight loss thing. This was a life thing. And I noticed the focus on mental health and replacing behavior patterns that no longer served me. And I knew that this was something that everyone needed. I had seen my good friend and my personal health coach build an extremely lucrative business, and I knew that he could help me too. So I decided that, you know, maybe paying this amazing program forward was just the vessel that I needed to stay home with my son. So I did. And, you know, I never went back to work after maternity leave ended. I was able to match my full-time income. And so, I mean, that was amazing, obviously. 9 months ago, I unexpectedly became a single mom. I have 2 boys now, so they're 6 and 3. And I have to tell you, I do not know where I would be today without coaching. No, I do. I actually do know. I'd probably like be living with family, like the 3 of us in a room, like who knows, but my life would have been turned upside down and so would theirs. And I think what's so amazing is that coaching has given me the ability to maintain the structure that kids really need during a difficult time like this. We didn't have to move. I didn't have to pull them out of school. Things were able to remain in place. And I just will be forever grateful to OPTAVIA, because my life the way it is right now wouldn't be this way without OPTAVIA. And so, you know, 6 years later, coaching brings me purpose and joy that I have never known. I'm still able to help people completely transform their lives in a very similar way that I did as a clinician. But at the same time, I'm able to kind of like keep my own sanity and keep my family first and foremost in my mind always. And, you know, all they know is a mama that works from home and they're spoiled. You know, they don't understand that most people's parents leave every day and go to work. And so when they complain that I have to go to my office, I'm like, you have no idea. And they'll get it someday. They're little. But yeah, I mean, just someday to be able to pass this amazing legacy off to them is just something, it's just incredible. So how cool is that? Thanks for letting me share, David.
That's awesome. We love you so much, Emily, and we're so glad that you got a chance to share your story, because somewhere out there's somebody in a struggling situation that's looking for an opportunity to be with their kids or to travel or to do something that they don't have to go and live with somebody, or they don't have to depend on somebody that they don't want to depend on. They want to break free. And this opportunity allows you to do that. You get mentorship. You can earn while you learn. You don't have to go back to school. You don't have to take a bunch of debt on. You can work at your own pace. So you can do this in your spare time. You can do it in your part-time, or you can do it full-time. And there's lots of events that you can gather with other people and gain encouragement and see real people. That's why we showed so many stories tonight, is we wanted you to know there's real people out here that are a part of this mission, that are helping to create a healthier world. And if you want to be a part of this and you want to explore it further, reach out to the person that invited you to this webinar and just let them know that you're interested in exploring it further. We'd love for you to learn more and to join us on the mission to get America healthy and to create lifelong transformation for more people all around the world, one healthy habit at a time. Thanks, everybody. On behalf of all the panelists, we're so glad you joined us. Have a great night.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some OPTAVIA coaches or clients of OPTAVIA. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the OPTAVIA team.